I think we need more thinking.
The Nuggets' second game of a back-to-back back in Ball Arena to face the Kings. What happened? Let's find out. You're listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. Let's get it.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we put ourselves in a good situation.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So the Nuggets were playing tonight, if you didn't remember from last night, if you checked out my episode, or if you didn't check the schedule or the social media post, if you live under a rock. The Nuggets played tonight. They coming fresh off of a wire-to-wire win over the Houston Rockets in Houston for a cup game, if you remember, to face the Sacramento Kings at home in Ball Arena, Mile High there. The Kings, coming into this game, were on a 8-game losing streak. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing an Avs hat, it's because the Avs played tonight as well. We're going to get more into that later. But going into this game, AG and CB and Strawther all out with injuries still. I have a feeling now that with the recent injury to AG's hamstrings, we will probably not be seeing him for at least a couple of months. And at this point, I kind of hope that we don't see him for a couple of months because I don't want him to rush back from this injury. We saw it last season, and he is a trooper. Nothing is going to say otherwise. He is definitely 100% a Nuggets trooper. He was Mr. Nugget for a reason. We love him. We love the effort and everything, but right now he is so injury prone that he needs to just get healthy. Get healthy, stay healthy, and be ready when we need him the most, which is in the playoffs. Right now, the reason why you have depth is so that you can cover the ground where your starters are hurt or not able to, be consistent in. So I actually hope that we don't see Mr. Nugget for, at least until February. Really, honestly, 100%. I don't think we should see Mr. Nugget until after the All-Star break at this point. He's too injury prone, and we can't afford it. We can't afford it. So, and then CB, we won't see him, for a couple more weeks. And then that's even if it all, works out at the end of that 6-week period, which I think is around like Christmas or something like that. We don't even know. We might not see him until January. So and then with Strawther, has really Strawther been out, not really made much of a difference? I kind of feel like, am I the only one thinking this? Like him being out is like, okay, whatever. He wasn't really making much of a difference when he was playing right now. So hopefully, maybe with him being out, maybe then when he starts to get really back into things, the flow of things, he can actually be a little bit more better. Because I don't know what's going on with him this season. Last season, he was already kind of making some kind of impact, and I was actually kind of enjoying watching him play. And then he got injured as well. So, but right now this season, I haven't really noticed a difference between him playing and when he's not. So. Not to say I don't love Strawther. He's a Nugget, so I'm going to love him, but I'm kind of meh on him. But let me know in the comments what you think. So the Nuggets opted for a lineup, not having AG, of Jamal Murray, Cam Johnson. Adelman's really loving this point guard, shooting guard connection of these two. And to be honest, it's kind of worked a little bit. P-Watt, it's the small forward. And then to fill in that gap where AG was, Spencer Jones. I don't know if I agree with that move. I think there was a lot of other players that you could have played. Other note is that before this game, the Nuggets recalled Braun Holmes. So he was there tonight. He was ready to play. He didn't play. Not 1 second on the court. Not 1 second Braun Holmes played. You recalled him, and then who would get minutes? But Hunter Tyson. Hunter Tyson got minutes over Braun Holmes. I don't know what's going on in Adelman's head right now. He's definitely a mad scientist in some ways, because at some points, like, you're like, that's crazy. Oh my God, that worked. And then, oh my God, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Like, you have no idea what he is trying to do right now. And it's kind of annoying, to be honest. It's a little annoying. And then obviously our main man Yoke was playing tonight, and he had a weird night, to be honest. I mean, he still cooked in at least the second half, but the first half, he was flopping a lot, and he was also not shooting a lot. I don't know what happened. There was like a switch that he flipped, and he was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to have to take over this game. And he kind of got fed up, and we stayed in this game because of him. So the Nuggets were wearing their Mile High jerseys, which is a jersey that most people love. And the Kings were wearing their white jerseys, and the Kings won. That's right. Nuggets take their second loss in home to the Sacramento Kings, the 14th seed in the West, having only won 3 wins. Now they're 4th. But you can also say we only had 3 losses, and now we have 4. But they win wire to wire, 128-123. So I guess they'll be lighting the beam in Sacramento tonight. That stupid beam. So what happened in this game? Well, let's break it down for you. Sacramento controlled the tip. So already from the exact moment the game started, there was already kind of a weird vibe throughout the game, or a weird, energy. So they won the tip, and then both teams missed buckets on their attempts. Second attempt, Nuggets finally get Cam to drill a 3 for the first bucket of the game off an assist from Jamal. And then Kings answered back with 8 unanswered points. It went to 8-3 in the first minutes of the game. Cam then knocks down a second 3 off a Jokic assist, and then followed by a dunk by P. Watt off another assist from Jokic to tie the game. And then back-to-back 3s from P. Watt and Jamal give Nuggets a 4-point lead. Then P. Watt gets his second 3, and from a rebound by Brucey, kicks it to Tim Hardaway Jr. for the layup, plus the foul, makes it. Nuggets started to get a little bit of a movement going on. Back-to-back turnovers, though, gets the Kings a 1-point lead. So they had a lead, they lost the lead, and that was kind of the overall story of this game. The losing and giveth, the taketh and giveth of this game was consistently there. So then, for not long, though, P. Watt then drills another 3 from the corner pocket. And then Jokic misses, but Jamal Murray steals the rebound and gets an uncontested 3 on the other corner to give Nuggets a 3-point lead. And then Nuggets actually outscore the Kings in the first 35-30. Unfortunately, this is a little spoiler, that would be the only quarter that the Nuggets would win. So second quarter, Nuggets start off the quarter with Big Val, Jamal Murray, Hunter Tyson starts off the quarter, yes. Spencer Jones, and Tim Hardaway Jr. as Big Val gets a floater for the first bucket of the quarter. Jamal gets the same winning jump shot that he got on AD in the playoffs of 2024, plus the foul. So if you remember that he goes at the rim and then he cuts over and goes to the right wing, and then the fadeaway jump shot. He really loves that shot, and he's really good at it, obviously. It's definitely his go-to and his bag of tricks there. And so he gets that plus the foul. Tim Hardaway Jr. then gets a tough 3 to drop for a 8-point lead. So Nuggets had an 8-point lead, and we actually had several times where we were up by a lot. And the Kings, I will give them credit, they battled back. And to be honest with you, I can't really say that there was a lot of bad officiating in this this game. I mean, I'm sure if I were to rewatch it and nitpick, there would be some. I know that the Kings would say that there was a lot of bad officiating, though the Kings can play on everything. Like, you can probably pretty much say that the Kings are a crybaby basketball team and fan base. Like, all I hear from them ever is crying, and I know that they're hurting and they really are frustrated with their team not getting wins and everything. But we saw it here in this game too. Malik Monk was a huge crybaby. He was just pouting and throwing tantrums up and down the court just to be able to get his way. And luckily the refs never gave it to him. But so they got an 8-point lead, and then back-to-back shots from Sacramento gets the lead down to 4. Another on the fast break leads to a dunk by Monk to make it a 2-point game and forces Adelman to take a timeout. Cam Johnson with a cutting layup gets Nuggets first to 50, and then Big Val backs up Raymond and barbecue chicken. Big Val had a great night tonight, despite the fact that the bench didn't really show up that much. I still really love the minutes that Big Val gave the Nuggets tonight. He was really good, and I'm really on the bandwagon, or on the rooting of Big Val. I really love He's the beefy guy that we've been needing, to get in there and get gritty, get the rebounds, fight it out, and then also he has a decent enough bag of getting the shots to fall in. We didn't really have a big center that could actually get the buckets to fall in without having to have it lobbed up for them for a dunk or something, So he had some good minutes. Then Big Val he's everywhere. He was everywhere on the court tonight. He blocks Brody's shot, and then on the other end gets a 2-man action with Cam for the floater and a 7-point lead. And then Jokic checks back in at the 4:28 mark. I mean, you don't have good Big Val minutes and Jokic checking in you don't have bad Big Val minutes and Jokic checking in at the 4:28 mark. You just don't have that. If you have bad Big Val minutes, Jokic is going to be checking in at the 8-minute mark. So you can definitely tell he was actually doing very, very well in the second quarter. And so Jokic checks in at the 4:28 mark, and Jokic then with a fake out and then a spin to the rim, throws it down for the jam. Nuggets then become very, very foul heavy. So the second quarter actually was trending in a positive way for the Nuggets, but then at the end of it, they just got so freaking foul heavy that they allowed the Sacramento Kings to have life. They kept them in the game by fouling them so many times. And so the Sacramento Kings were able to cut the once 9-point lead down to 3. Cam and Jokic, a 2-man action there, keeps Nuggets 3-point lead alive. And then Sacramento outscores the Nuggets in the second 31-30, all because of fouls. Nuggets still retain their lead, though, going into the half, 65-61. And then third quarter, Nuggets start off with their starters as Peyton brings the ball up, hands it off to Jamal, who goes around the defense and gets a high layup for the first bucket of the quarter. Cam Johnson pulling up threes, gets Nuggets a 10-point lead. Back-to-back threes by Keegan Murray cuts the lead down to 9. So we actually got our lead, I think, up to 12 or 14 at one point. And then the Kings started battling back. And third quarter has been statistically our best quarter of the season. Not tonight. So this is actually kind of where it starts to go downhill. As soon as they got the 12-point or the 14-point lead, they started letting off the gas. They got a little cocky, and Keegan Murray knocks down these threes. Peyton then gets called for an offensive charge on DeRozan. This would be the one really bad officiating call that I did not like, and I really, really wish that Adelman would have taken a timeout to challenge it. So Deron Holmes draws an offensive charge on Peyton driving to the rim, and once again, when you watch the replay, DeRozan did not plant his feet. His left foot was still sliding when it happened. You can't, that's not a charge. You got to plant your feet. Like the fact that the Nuggets didn't take a timeout to challenge that. It's so frustrating to see Adelman not use his challenges. Like he saves them like they're gonna bleed over into the next game if he doesn't use them. Like, dude, you realize you do not retain these challenges after the game, right? Like you have one chance, and if you get it right, then you get a second chance. That's it. So use your challenge when you got it. Like, he didn't even end up using his challenge at all in this game, just so you know. He didn't use it at all. So the point of not using it there to only try to maybe use it later on, like that's a gamble. That's a huge gamble. Like this was right here, and this was a charge. This would have allowed the Nuggets to retain the ball and, if anything, get the bucket. You would get a couple of points, or you would have gotten a foul. You know, it would have been a blocking foul, and P. Watt would have been to the free throw line. Like, what's going on, Adelman? Come on, man. I need you to be locked in with these challenges. So Kings then get a run that drops the Nuggets' lead to 4. Sacramento then their offense keeps building off of a double teaming of Jokic and gets turnovers that lead into fast breaks. They were loving the double team. And this was, I guess, just one of those games where Jokic was too tired to really deal with the double team. We've seen this before, right? Jokic at sometimes will cook double and triple teams. But then sometimes when he's a little too tired, it's just he's not for the challenge, essentially. And we saw it here. He was definitely getting bothered by the double teaming, and it was working for them, so they stuck with it for the rest of the game, essentially. He was always getting double teamed. And he still had a great night. The end of the night, he still had a great night. Jokic then with a Jokic and Cam two-man strikes again and gets Nuggets a low 2-point lead. And then a big 3 from Schroeder gets Kings a 1-point lead. The quarter ends with both teams trading buckets and the lead going back and forth until the buzzer rings. Kings outscore the Nuggets 30-27 in the third here. Fourth quarter, Nuggets start off with a lineup of Brucey B, Spencer Jones, Big Val, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jamal Murray, as Eubanks scores a floater for the first bucket of the quarter and the lead. Big Val to Brucey B for the floater, and the Nuggets gets the Nuggets on the board and the lead by just little margin there. Brody then goes to the line and makes 1 of 2 as Jamal, with the rebound, rushes the ball up to a stop and pop 3. That's the kind of style of play that I would have liked to have seen more of from the Nuggets, the hustling up, because when you're playing against Brody, he is always going to find a way to try them up the pace of the games. And so the fact that you have had Brody on your team, you should know already this is going to be the style of play that he's going to play. And you're either going to have to resist it and resist it hard, or you play with it and you outplay him. And that's kind of a little bit what Jamal did in this little stint here, though it wouldn't last long. So Brody then with a rebound and on the other end runs the ball up into a layup to get the Kings first to 100. Big Val then backs Eubanks up, and then Eubanks flops, drawing the charge on Big Val and the turnover. So this was another call. So I would actually correct myself. This was another call that I did not love that should have been overturned, because Eubanks 100% flopped. And I know they didn't call a lot of the flopping from Jokic in the first half, but this was a big flop. And it was night as day, or clear as day, you know. Big flopping work from Eubanks. But it worked, got the turnover, and then Jokic checks back in at the 8:20 mark. So this is what I'm talking about. When Big Val starts to have a little bit of issues, that's when Jokic checks back in. And so Big Val had a great second quarter. And honestly, he had a decent fourth quarter. I think he should have stayed in. If anything, you know, they should have maybe gone to the two towers lineup, the two bigs, you know. Jokic then checks in again at the 8:20 mark and sinks a 3 immediately, making a 3-point game. So it was a good decision to check Jokic back in. I'm not disagreeing with that part. I just think that Big Val should have stayed in at the same time. And Nuggets' perimeter defense continues to lack as Keegan Murray sinks another three. Miscommunications lead to the Kings lead going from 3 to 9. And then Jokic and Jamal drawing the defense as Jokic slings the rock to Cam for a big three to cut it to 6. And then Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr. fight, pressures Achua for a rebound. They get the ball only because Achua is called with the foul. Nuggets ball. Jamal runs to the rim, misses it, but Jokic gets the putback to get the lead down to 4. Forces Kings to take a timeout, and then Brody and Jokic trade back and forth threes to keep it a 4-point lead, and then Jokic, with 30 seconds left on the clock, sinks a 3 to make it a 3-point game. Nuggets defense isn't able to pressure the Kings and lets the Kings bleed the clock enough to not feel the pressure of the Nuggets at all. This was my big issue with this game tonight, at least with the last couple of minutes, was the Nuggets not pressuring at all. When you're down by 6, why are you not pressuring the Kings right now? And unfortunately, it kept on making me think of other teams and how they would go approach this situation. So that was just really egregious there. And so the Kings outscore the Nuggets in the fourth, 37-31. Kings win, final score again, 128-123. So you can blame this loss on a difficult back-to-back. You can blame it on not having a full healthy starting lineup. But the truth of it is this was a full team loss. Similar to the loss against the Bulls, the Nuggets just didn't have the same energy. They left all of it in Houston thinking that the Kings on an 8-game losing streak would be an easy win. But there's no such thing as an easy win in professional sports. Even a losing team is difficult to beat because they want to end their losing streak, sometimes worse than the winning teams want to continue their winning streak. The defense was just awful in the last quarter, let alone the last minute of the game, where they just allowed the Kings to bleed the clock, and instead of pressuring the one with the ball, it made me think, I hate to say it, but it made me think of what would OKC do in this position, and they would continue to lay pressure on the one with the ball. The Nuggets didn't do that tonight, and there is still a lot of season left, though, for the Nuggets to go on another big winning streak, but they got to limit the bad losses like this. First, and tighten up the defense. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. I would love to hear more takes on it. I'm trying to stay positive. So the stats of the game, let's head over to these. So P. Watt played 34 minutes tonight. He had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 6 for 10 from field, 3 for 5 from 3. 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls, was a +3. Spencer Jones played 23 minutes tonight, made 1 point, 4 rebounds. He was 0 for 2 from field, 0 for 1 from 3, 1 for 2 from free throws, so that was his 1 point. And he had 1 turnover, 5 personal fouls, was a -18. Not great. Don't love it at all. I think he is much better as a bench player than he is as a starter. And I know a lot of this is just to try things out and to get some guys minutes and everything, but that was not kind of what I would have liked Adelman to do. I think he should have kept him as a bench player. Cam Johnson played 37 minutes tonight. I believe he played the most amount of minutes of any Nugget tonight, and he had a great game tonight, which is kind of odd because the last great game he had was against the Bulls. I don't want to draw the comparisons there, but it is something that I had kind of said before the Bulls. If Cam starts knocking down shots, will it be at a cost? And so far, it's kind of been at a cost. He starts knocking down shots when the rest of the team is not, and we're losing games, even though he's making shots. So, like, what are we going to be more okay with? Him not taking shots and then we winning games? Like, I kind of feel like that's more the line that I would rather it go, because he's playing good defense no matter what. So I'd rather him focus on the defense and we win games than to knock down shots. But still good that I guess he knocked down shots. 20 points. He made 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He had 1 block. He was 7 for 11 from field, 4 for 7 from long range, 2 for 3 from free throws. He had 3 turnovers, 1 personal foul. He was a +3. Jamal Murray played 36 minutes tonight, 23 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, which, mind you, was the only steal the Nuggets had tonight. The only steal the Nuggets had tonight was Jamal Murray's 1. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Shomer Shabbos. 1 block, 9 for 18 from field, 3 for 7 from long range, 2 for 3 from free throw. So another uncharacteristically miss of a free throw from Murray. He had 1 turnover, 2 personal fouls, was a 0. We get to our main man, Mr. MV3, Mr. Nikola Jokic, played also 36 minutes tonight, and he had 44 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, so a near triple-double once again, 16 for 28 from field, 3 for 6 from 3, 9 for 10 from free throws, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. He was a +2. I mean, that let's go back to that. 16 for 28. He took 28 attempts from field and made 16 of them. 57%. Bench-wise, both Tim Hardaway Jr. and Valanciunas both had 8 points off the bench. So, I mean, they were good, but they weren't great. They showed up in stints, but not long enough. Like, the minutes that we got with them from last night with the Rockets was way better than the minutes we got tonight. And that's where they need to step up. The others got to step up. And so, plus-minus wise, Tim Hardaway Jr. was the only plus. He was a +3. Everyone else is minus. Brucey Brown was a -8. Hunter Tyson obviously was a -5. Valanciunas was a -5. Hunter Tyson played 7 minutes tonight. I think that 7 minutes too long. I think Deron Holmes should have gotten some of those minutes, but whatever. Overall stats, we have 38 rebounds to their 37. So we only out-rebounded them by 1. We had 28 assists to their 32. We had 1 steal, again, to their 8. 8 to our 1. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. 3 blocks to their 3. We shot 48% from field. They shot 52%. I mean, Brody was feeling it tonight. This was definitely a revenge game for Brody. He almost had a triple-double himself, but he did get a double-double. He had 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists. 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, it's Brody. What do you expect? He also had 1 turnover, only 1 turnover. If you remember, he would always be racking up turnovers. This one, 1 turnover, 4 personal fouls. He was a -13, but I mean, I'm not gonna have much hate for Brody. I mean, especially what he did for the Nuggets in round 1 of last season's playoffs. He has all my respect. We only get out of that round with Brody in the team on the team there. And so you're not going to find me hating on Brody. The only one I feel like I would hate the most is Malik Monk because he's a big baby. And then DeRozan has not been really, he's getting on my bad side. I actually loved DeRozan when he was on the Bulls. And now I'm not loving him. Gotta be honest, I'm not loving him. I'm not hating him, but I'm not loving him. And then also Precious Achiuwa, because he's a former New York Knick. I love him. I still got love for him. And I hate that he's on the Kings. I wish he was on a better team because he deserves it. But, I mean, I'm not going to hate on him. Everyone else, find the exit. Like, get out of here. And so We got we shot 37% from three. They shot 33%. We shot 82% from free throws. They shot 95%. And that's mainly because Westbrook was the only one who missed one free throw. He had 2 free throws, missed one of them. Everyone else made every single free throw. DeRozan made 7 of his 7 free throws. And actually, one of the worst offenses that Spencer Jones had was fouling DeRozan in the clutch, sending him to the line for a 3-point play. Not great. So we also had 13 turnovers to their 6, 21 personal fouls to their 20. So, this is what I've been saying, Like I said this last night, a losing team is not going to be a tough or an easy team to beat. A losing team is backed in the corner. They're a hurt animal. What a hurt animal does is they fight even harder. And that's exactly what the Kings did tonight. They fought as hard as they could to get rid of this 8-game losing streak that they've been going on. And now they did. They succeeded. And the Nuggets took a loss, and now we're half a game away from the Lakers taking us our spot. So we got to pray that the Lakers lose tomorrow and the Spurs. And then we got to get the bounce back win on Monday. So the big thing here, I think, in staying positive is that they only have 4 losses. It's an 82-game season, right? They only have 4 losses. So they are still on a good track to get a high winning streak. The Nuggets are not a horrible team. They just got one of the best wins of the week in the league against the very, very good Rockets team. And remember, the Nuggets also have 2 wins right now against the Timberwolves in Minnesota, in their home court, if you remember. So I don't think the Nuggets are bad. They have just kind of lacked on energy in 2 games. And this winning record is something that we were praying for just a month ago. And now we have it. So one loss does not determine the rest of the season. The team is not a bad team. They're just falling into a lot of issues with energy and playing the same kind of energy when in clutch games. So they've only won 1 clutch game so far. They've had, I think, 3 or 4. And it is definitely an issue. When you compare that to, let's say, the Avalanche have only won 1 overtime game. They've lost, I think, 4 or 5 of them. And so this is kind of like that issue with the Avalanche. With the Nuggets, they're having issues with these clutch games. And statistically, the last couple of years, the Nuggets have been a phenomenal clutch team. They were the best clutch team the year that they won the chip. They were the best clutch team, try to say that 5 times fast, the best clutch team the defending year. And they were one of the best last year still. A lot of that actually comes from Jamal Murray and Jokic. So, I think the Nuggets are still in a good pace to have a good winning record by the end of the season. They just need to clean things up. That's it. And tighten up that defense. But I do think that tonight was a bad David Adelman coaching game. And I know he says a lot more on the defense, which kind of rubs me a little bit of the wrong way. I wish that he would take more of the brunt of this loss, take ownership, accountability for this loss, because not challenging to clearly bad officiated calls. And this is not the first time that this has happened. This is something that he's continually or consistently doing, is not calling these or calling the challenges when he needs to. When Jokic is telling you to challenge the call and then you ignore him, I mean, this is definitely trending. Maybe if it keeps up, I mean, it's very, very new, right? He is just starting off as a new coach this season. This is his first full season as a head coach. So I don't think that he's going to lose the locker room, but starting to blame the players rather than taking the accountability yourself is not a good trend. And he's definitely got to learn from that. So, other good news, because I want to end this on a good news, good vibes, right? So, if you're not a basketball fan, you may not care about this, but I am a sports fan of Colorado sports, Avalanche. And so the reason why I'm wearing the Avalanche hat, I was wearing a Denver Nuggets hat, but I took it off because I was a little bit annoyed by them, by losing. There was a little bit of frustration, gonna admit, but I took it off and I put this one on because the Avalanche played tonight and they won 3-0. So they are now on an 8-game winning streak. Yeah, the Avalanche are just that good. You have Nathan McKinnon getting a goal in tonight. He's consistently now racking up goals and points. He is officially, I think, the best Avalanche ever. So they have the best winning loss record in the league, and so that's what I'm keeping my my good thoughts on right now, is just focusing on these the Avs winning tonight, making us proud, Avs. That's awesome, and they got the win in Nashville against the Predators. For anyone outside of the country, Nashville is located in Tennessee, where another city in that same state is Memphis, if you remember the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Memphis Grizzlies is the next team the Nuggets are facing. We face them on Monday, and that is on the road. So we are going to be in Tennessee, and hopefully the Nuggets can get a win there, a good bounce-back win, and that would mean that in the same week, Tennessee itself lost to Colorado twice. I'm all down for that. Let's go. Let's go, Nuggets. Let's go. Make it happen. Lock down that defense. Adelman, call your challenges. Swear to God. I'm cool. We're going to ride the wave of Avalanche. Let's go. But that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And if you feel gracious enough to give me a donation, I would really appreciate it. And I've been kind of continuing trying to set this thing up where if you do a donation and give me some comment on the Nuggets, on the league, on something completely different, I'll read it for you on air for you and let everyone know. But would really appreciate that. But you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about the Nuggets with good vibes. We'll catch you later.